Oh, Lordy, you know some days you just have way too many bananas out of the dumpster and you don't know what to do with them all? Well, that's where we are today. Now, that's a lot of bananas. And that's after I've already frozen a ton of them. So we're going to do some frugal cooking with our dumpster bananas. First off, we're going to make peanut butter cookies that use pureed banana as a base instead of butter or shortening or any other kind of fatty fat. So we'll start with these 3 nice ripe bananas and mash them up in a bowl. Right, so you just mash them with a fork. Now, I have made these before. I've made them many times, but it's been a while. And I did follow a recipe at one point, probably the first time I ever made them. And I'm not saying I actually even remember that recipe right now. So basically, I'm just going to throw some things together. We're just going to wing it and see how they turn out, because I am too lazy to go get on the internet and look up the recipe. So you have your dumpster bananas, and we're going to put in a couple of dumpster eggs. And I think you can make these with as little as 3 ingredients. Eggshell not being one of them. Come here. Alright, if you get eggshell in your dumpster banana peanut butter cookies, use another piece of eggshell. Get away from the banana. Use another piece of eggshell to fish it out, because eggshell likes eggshell. Alright. So you can do these. I think I've done these in the past without egg, just using banana, peanut butter, and I think oats. But I've got the dumpster eggs, so I'm going to use them. Then we're going to add in a whole bunch of peanut butter. And this is not the highest quality all-natural peanut butter. This has lots of sugar already added. And of course you've got sweetness from the bananas. I know you're saying, why is she doing her southern accent again? Y'all know I lived in Georgia for a while. Not that that's any excuse. Alright, there's some peanut butter. Put in a little smidge of baking soda. That might be too much baking soda. Oh, let's drop it on the counter. Put in some salt to activate the baking soda. And we'll just start stirring it all together. I'd love to use oatmeal, but I don't have any oats in the house right now, so I'm going to use this whole wheat graham flour that I got free couponing. Yes, they had it on sale for less than $2, and I had a $2 off any Bob's Red Mill product coupon. And you can see how carefully I measure. I'm just going to pour some in, and we just are going to get it to the consistency that feels right for a cookie. We're also going to make banana bread this morning, so stay tuned for that. All right, that's pretty soft. That's not a really super stiff dough, but I'm going to try it like that because I just feel like that will be good. Now, I didn't add any extra sugar, but I will put some M&Ms in for a little kick of sweetness. Chocolate chips would be nice, but I don't have any chocolate chips in the house right now. And I do have dumpster M&Ms. And you will notice there are no red ones in here because I picked them out for whatever it was I made at Valentine's. That's the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you get red M&Ms in your food, and sometimes you do not. Who remembers when there were no red M&Ms for a while because there was all this problem with the dye they used to make them? That goes way back. There was issue with Hawaiian Punch, too, because of the red dye. Alrighty. Okay, I did just sample the raw dough, and no, I'm not afraid of raw eggs. Even from eggs out of the dumpster, I fear not the raw egg and the salmonella. Anyway, it wasn't quite sweet enough, so I am going to add a little brown sugar, I think. Not too much, because that's all I have in the house right now. So we'll put our little rounded dollops of dough on our parchment-lined cookie sheet. And have a little test run. The oven is already heated to 350. I already have a loaf of banana bread in there, but I'm going to make another. This is a really soft dough. It will be interesting to see if these bake up and hold together. I could add more flour. I just didn't want them to get too dense and dry. All right, here's my loaf of banana bread that was already baking. It looks pretty good, but it is not done right there. So that's going to go back in with the cookies. I'll start the cookies on the lower shelf, but I got to be careful because I really don't want them to burn. And I'll put the banana bread back on the top shelf. And we'll set the timer so we don't forget about the cookies, which we so often do. All right, 12 minutes. So I overbaked the cookies because apparently setting the timer was just not quite enough. I went upstairs to see the kittens and I got distracted, and then I thought, oh my God, the cookies, I gotta go back down. I came flying back down, and I don't know how long they were in there, but we're baking more. This is the banana bread. It's possible that this is overbaked because it's pretty brown, but it's a big loaf, and I'm thinking on the inside is probably fine. It might be a little bit too crunchy on the outside. So here's my trick that I'm making up right now on the spot for making sure the outer crust isn't too hard. I mean, it wouldn't bother me, but it would possibly bother other members of the family if the crust is too crunchy and hard. So what we'll do as a quick fix is just spread a little bit of butter on the crust to sort of absorb and soften it a little bit. And I think also if I covered it with some foil maybe, as the steam came off, as it cools, the steam might kind of go back in and soften the crust because of that moisture, so I might do that as well. When I make beer bread, it is always part of the procedure to spread some butter or margarine on the crust as soon as you bring it out of the oven. Frugal Daddy thinks all bread products should be as soft as Wonder Bread, and he's kind of training the kids to believe that. And I am always trying to get them to understand that the crust is the same as the interior. It's just like when you toast bread. You just don't need to hear the complaints of, oh, it's too crunchy, it's too hard, you burned it again. Unless this was black and on fire, it does not count as burned. Hot. So I'll put some foil on that too to hopefully kind of hold some of the steam in and set this aside. And I'm baking another one anyway. All right, back to these sad little cookies, which clearly don't need to bake for, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, who knows. Again, they're not on fire. They're not like charcoal briquettes. So to me, they're still edible. So I'm going to try one. It's a little brown on the bottom. That might look black, but it's not. It's just a deep, rich brown. Oh! Totally fine. Of course, I bit right into an M&M that really made everything all right, but nice peanut buttery flavor. Maybe a tiny bit on the dry side due to the overcooking. And it's kind of like we're drying them out to become peanut butter banana cookie biscotti. You have to know that's how they invented biscotti. Somebody was baking, they didn't have time to deal with what was going on. They just turned the oven off, ran off, and whatever it was they made just dried out like crazy. And like me, they said, I'm not going to waste this food, I'll just dip it in coffee. You know that's how they invented biscotti. So, alright, so I'm thinking with the next batch, if we cook it the appropriate amount of time, they might be great. So we'll put them on this beautiful decorative plate, and then we'll get another batch going. Of course, if I made these bigger, they wouldn't cook so fast. There's an awesome frugal cooking tip. If you have a tendency of wandering off and getting distracted and burning your food, like your cookies, make them much bigger in the first place, because then they'll take a lot longer to cook. And then you won't waste food, which I wouldn't waste anyway, because they're going to get eaten. If I have to take a bullet for the family and eat every one of these myself, well, I'll just have to do that. All right, batch number 2 going in the oven. All right, second batch out. These look a little bit better. I have to admit, I did lose track of that second batch a little bit because I had to take the phone in the other room and charge it, and I got distracted. One thing I will point out, in case anybody actually ever wants to try these cookies, this is not a dough that you want to leave sitting around while you go upstairs to play with your kittens, because the moisture from the bananas is causing the candy coating on the M&Ms to kind of melt and blend away. So I'm popping a few extra M&Ms on top so that they still look Oh, that's... Get away, you sneaky M&M thief. All right, so we're putting some... Oh, my gosh. We're putting some extras on. And now we'll pop these in the oven. And now for the banana bread. For banana bread, you want to use as ripe a banana as you can get. The browner, blacker, the better. Not moldy, but really mushy. So I'm going to put 4 bananas, into this bowl. And by the way, the kids ate some of the more cooked first batch of these peanut butter cookies, and they didn't make any comment about them tasting burned or overcooked. So I think the addition of the M&Ms really helped on that front. So 4 mushy dumpster bananas, 3 dumpster eggs, hey, get out of there. All right, we're going to pour in a little cooking oil, which I'm not bothering to measure. I'm thinking 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup. A little bit of baking powder. A little bit of salt to activate the baking powder. Some sugar, I'd say about a cup of sugar. Then mush it all together with the immersion blender. Then we put in some flour. I don't know, I guess a couple of cups worth. Stir it around until it seems like it's the right consistency for banana bread batter. Now, the normal nut to put into banana bread would be walnuts, in my opinions, but you know I have tons of dumpster pecans. So I'm going to add some pecans, which it probably would be smart for me to break them up into smaller pieces. But again, I got a lot to do today. I'm in a hurry. I don't have time for breaking up pecans. A lot of people recommended that I freeze the pecans so the nuts wouldn't go rancid, since I do just have them in a box under one of the kids' beds upstairs. And I hear you. I hear that. I understand that way of thinking, and I could do that. So far in my lifetime, I've never had a nut or any kind of oil or fat go rancid on me. I don't know. I'm just lucky that way. Fat is my friend. So let's see. Do we have all our ingredients? We have our dumpster bananas, dumpster eggs, we have the oil, dumpster sugar, dumpster flour, baking soda, dumpster salt, dumpster pecans. And we shall bake the banana bread in our dumpster loaf pan. This is a pretty recent find, and this is a nice loaf pan. This has been working very well for us. So we'll pour our batter into our loaf pan, and then pop this in the oven at 350. That's a lot of batter. And it will probably take a little bit over an hour to bake. I just heard the timer go off for the cookies. I don't feel like I've heard that timer go off in a long time. It's not very loud. I didn't even know it made a noise anymore. So triumph with the 3rd batch. Bigger and better than any of the others. And this is the first banana bread that I took out. Remember that I thought it had too hard a crust? So I put the butter on, and you're just going to have to trust me that this is really pretty soft. I have the foil on. It's as soft as it's going to get. Of course, we're freezing tons and tons of bananas, as much as the freezers can hold, which they're pretty much packed right now with bananas. Frozen bananas go in every smoothie, and we're making smoothies every single day. Tons of soup, because you can at least heat those up easily. And use a jar of fructose sauce. Hi, stop taking the cookies. They're for Kylie, okay?
I'm just jumping in the kitchen.
Okay. Well, there we go. This one's pretty brown too. It was in there a long time. I'm going to say an hour and a half. I think because there's so much batter and it's so big, the top's getting pretty brown as the inside's trying to cook. It is what it is. So there's a couple of ways to use your plethora of dumpster bananas. Let me show you this amazing dumpster loaf pan. All right, this just came out of the oven. Boom. Came right out, no sticking. Ooh, perfection. All right, let's cut it open to see what it looks like on the inside. Oh, look, it's beautiful. It's baked all the way through, which is always critical. You don't want it raw. The nuts look lovely. It smells lovely. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll try some of these amazing recipes. Have a great day, frugal friends. See you later.